Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another one of our weekly id Invaded discussion videos, and today we're here to talk all about File 9, Inside Outed, which once again, for the third week in a row, that's not a word, but it does very accurately describe both this episode and my mind, because it feels like Aoki just inside-outed my brain, because I have no idea what the hell's going on anymore. Before we get into things proper, though, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter, at Bubblelubber, at ClockworkCams, at DCherryWolf, at Infamous519, at AnimeTrashBin, at Diana Alley, at Anlo, and at Clear Chicken. Thanks so much for sharing last week's video over on Twitter, everybody. It is super appreciated. And if you too would like to have your name shouted out in next week's id Invaded video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Okay, so this week I had a lot of moments where I was just staring at the screen going, what in the seven hells is going on? Of course Aoki was like, I'm gonna direct this. I don't know if he asked Maijo to work on the script to be the series composition, like if this was his idea and he got somebody else to write the script, to work on the whole series composition. I don't know, but of course he would pick this to direct because it's my brain. It's hype as hell, but at the same time, I just feel like somebody has fruit ninja'd the hell out of my brain, and I don't even know where to start, what to say. Okay. Thankfully, this is why we keep notes. So this week, I'm gonna chop things up into two parts. We got the mind-melting twists, and we got how said twists affect Sakaido. Let's go ahead and start with the mind-melting twists, and then we'll talk more about how they affect our boy. First twist up on the docket, Sakaido wakes up as Akihito. That was not even a little bit of what I was expecting. I was genuinely surprised to see that Sakaido kind of woke up in his own bed, and he does the whole, because every anime feels the need to do the an unfamiliar ceiling, or this ceiling is actually very familiar. In this case, it's this ceiling looks actually really familiar. I know we have to do it, so I was just like, okay, prerequisite Neon Genesis reference, okay, moving on. And yeah, he wakes up in his own bed, and I was like his old bed from before the Challenger killed his kid. So what the Okay, so that's twist one, right? So I'm like, okay, so we're in a dream within a dream. I'm getting ahead of myself now, because okay, so currently we are in the Mizuhaname, and within the Mizuhaname they have gone into okay, so within the Mizuhaname, they go into another Mizuhaname belonging to one individual named Kiki Asukai, and they go into that Mizuhaname, and that puts Sakaido into a different dream in which he is still with his family. Nobody's dead, the Challenger hasn't come for them yet, and the Challenger has no clue what it is that Sakaido is talking about when he approaches him, because yes, he approaches him, we'll get there. But okay, so Sakaido wakes up as Akihito. It is weird. I'm gonna keep referring to him as Sakaido. Just for the sake of not confusing everybody, because we've been calling him Sakaido in all these videos. So he wakes up as Akihito. We're gonna keep calling him Sakaido, and he is what he basically does is he goes to the Challenger's home before he attacks his family and stops him in a crazy fight that we'll get to later in the video. But when he stops him, he gets Momoki to go check on the person in the arena, the person who should have been dead, but Sakaido saves them. You can tell that I'm stalling because my brain's trying to process this next twist. So they get down there, and the individuals is Kiki Asukai, the person who's the name on the Mizuhaname machine that they use to get into this dream. It's her in the arena, and when she looks up, it's Kairu. It's Kairu-chan. What? Why is Kairu in Kairu's real? What the? What's going on? Why is Kairu real? why is she Kiki? Which Momoki freaked out about, so how does he know that she, like, does he know? Does our real Momoki, not fake Momoki, this is, does real Momoki know who Kairu is because he freaked out at the name Kiki Asukai? Or did he just freak out because he knows that she died to the Challenger and, no, my brain. And then we get one more kind of sort of twist, and that is Sakaido confronting Asukai, who I'm just gonna refer to her as Kairu again for the sake of not being confusing. And Kairu explains that since for as long as she can remember, whenever people remind her of things, she can actually like project, like, and it's not on purpose. It's it's involuntary. Her own memories get sent out to other people. So it's like people are reading her mind, but it's actually more like her mind is invading their mind. And so they see what she saw. Seesaw. Anyway, so Sakaido actually sees her through her eyes for a second as the Challenger, the creepy fuck, like, was fighting her. Disgusting. But he sees it. So, okay. So, Kairu, in every version of the Mizuhaname, whenever they go into an Idwell, Kairu is dead. Every time. Is this because Kairu is part of the Mizuhaname? Like, did they use part of her brainwaves to make the Mizuhaname? Is the Mizuhaname Kairu's brainwaves? Or is it that all these serial killers, because they're the ones going in there and killing her in her dreams, set up by John Walker, again, creepy bastard, like, is that why she's there every time? Because they're trying to figure out, like, why is this girl there every time? Is that why? Because they've all met her already? That has to be why. But, like, why did Momoki freak out then? Like, how did they build the Mizuhaname if Kairu is dead already? And if it sounds like I'm complaining, I'm not complaining. I'm really excited. Like, I'm really hyped because I'm like, what does this mean? My only real concern is that we're on file, aka episode 9. I hope they stick the landing, because I feel like that's not enough time to wrap up everything, and just my brain just I didn't even really explain much. I just felt like my brain got, again, turned inside outed. Okay, so I have to stop talking about all the different twists before I give myself a headache. Let's go ahead and talk about how these twists affect Sakaido. So when we get there, I felt like it was almost cruel what Sakaido was seeing, because he knows that this isn't real. Like, he remembers his name, he remembers what he's doing there, he remembers everything. There's not a spot of his memory that is hazy. He remembers everything. He knows he's not Sakaido. He knows that he's that he's Akihito. He knows that his family is dead in reality. He knows that this isn't reality. But at the same time, God help him, he can't help it. And he runs up and he hugs the two of them. And he holds them for a sec, and my heart sank. Because that he knows it's not real. But how could you see that? Like, if you were Sakaido, how could you possibly be like, I know it's not real, so I'm going to just distance myself? Like, no, you would be like, I know it's not real, but I don't care. I miss them. Like, that has to have been what was going through his head. And again, like I said, it's almost mean. It's a happy moment for sure, because he gets to see his family again, but it's almost mean because at some point, any episode now, in fact, I'd highly expect the next episode, episode 10, if we're gonna wrap this up in time. I pretty much expect it all to fall apart, and that sucks. And it's like, oh no, my heart, I don't want to see that. But it's gonna happen. But at the very least, now Sakaido knows that he's a little bit in the past, right? Like, not a little bit, he's quite a bit in the past before the Challenger attacks his family. So he has the timeline wise, he has the advantage. So he goes, like I said to the earlier in the video, to the Challenger's house, and oh my God, he has one of the most cathartic, brutal, and intense showdowns I have seen in a while. And when I say cathartic, I mean, goddamn, this must have been really cathartic for Sakaido. It was even kind of cathartic for me, because I was like, yeah, good, screw that guy, he's a piece of shit. Like, when he starts whooping he doesn't even really whoop the Challenger's ass, because like the Challenger says, I'm really strong, because he did kill a martial artist and a boxer, I believe, or like a professional wrestler or something like that. He is, like, that's his whole MO, is that he's a challenger. He likes the challenge, even though he fought not only Kaoru, but Sakaido's 14-year-old kid as well. And, like, what a piece of shit. But yeah, so the challenger and Sakaido get into a brawl. And as I have been striving to do, and likely failing, whenever I see cool moments of animation, I try to go ahead and jump over to Sakugaboru. Whenever I cite animation, I promise you it is from Sakugaboru. I am not that good. I can't just pinpoint animators. One day I would love to get that good, but sadly I am not that good. So I looked it up on Sakugaboru, and it seems that at the very least, in part, it was worked on by a person called Atsushi Itagaki. They have worked on a mountain worth of stuff, and I was curious enough to look up like what their other fight scenes look like. And I gotta say, like, they have some stellar animation to their name, and they all sort of follow one rule, and that is this sort of snap, then float, then snap sort of fight. That's the only way I can really describe their fight scenes. Like, it always feels like there's a snap, like a big moment of impact, and then like a floaty bit, and then another big moment of impact. And there was a lot of that in Sakaido versus the Challenger. And friends, this fight is brutal. There's a couple moments in this episode that debatably I would almost put, and I hate these words, but debatably I would actually say, like, hey, if you're squeamish with, like, and I'm dead serious, like, if you're squeamish with, like, intense moments of violence or depictions of suicide, you may not want to watch this episode, because, like, there's part, or at the very least, like, you watch this with somebody who can, so that they can tell you to look away. As you could probably see by the screenshots I'm using, there's some pretty intense moments during this fight. And I gotta give it to Itagaki. They absolutely crushed this. And, like, they crushed this, like, the Challenger crushes Sakaido's damn arm at one point. It's brutal. And the fight should have been brutal. Like, I felt like, yeah, like, that was cathartic. And, like, Sakaido even screams, like, I did it! I did it! Like, he's like, yes! Vengeance! Like, he became Batman for a second. It was intense. But what ultimately breaks my heart is that by the end of the episode, to quote Tulio from El Dorado, he starts to buy his own con. He starts to genuinely sort of believe the lie of this world. Like, he knows that this world's not real, but he doesn't care anymore. He's just kind of trying to live in it, even though he knows it's not real. And he starts to kind of go after all the different serial killers who are plaguing Kaoru's dreams, so that he can save her. And he feels, he feels like it's his duty, blah, 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 I get it. But my question is, my man's was supposed to be woken up 10 minutes from now, and that never happened. So is time different here? Is it like Inception, where, like, time is different the deeper down you go? I have to believe that's true. Like, maybe, like, he's gonna get woken up at, like, a specific time, and when he wakes up, Anido's gonna be like, what are you talking about? You told me to wake you up in 10 minutes. What's the matter? Like, I feel like it's gonna be something like that. I don't know. All I know is my boy has chosen the Cypher from Matrix route, and I am very concerned. With that said, everybody, I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts here. You know what? This is not just a spicy cup of chai tea. This is a full-out chai tea latte. Ooh, it's good. It's got the spice from the chai. It's got the cream from the whipped cream on the top. It's just a solid latte. It's a chai tea latte of an episode. Does that make any sense at all? Probably not. But are these ratings really meant to make sense? Definitely not. And with that said, that is a wrap on today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then go ahead and hit that like button. Maybe even consider sharing the video around on the internet. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to stick around and see more content from me. And if you do, be sure to click on that bell icon so that you'll know immediately when a new video of mine comes out. And if you want to go above and beyond, then consider checking out our Teespring store and grabbing yourself a mug, or checking out our Patreon page, which really helps support the channel. And speaking of our Patreon page, I want to give a big thank you to those of you who support the channel over on Patreon. Andrew W., Calvin A., Crowbar of Irony, Daniel G., Digger the Fox, Emily, Ionos, Urza, Ginkotaku, Godzilla Fan, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Marshall B., Mirth Mouser, Cell, Shadow Creative, Stephen G., Sakochi, Tristan G., and Veridin. A huge thank you to all of you who support this channel over on Patreon, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out the link in the description to check out our Patreon page and get access to our Patreon exclusive Discord for as little as $1 a month. And with all that said, I want to once again thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and if you are feeling stressed out today, then you go have yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.